What's up, y'all? Back again with the power of positive thinking. And I firsthand can let y'all know how it feels when you begin to change things in your life. When your life begin to go into a different direction. When you begin to change the frequency of your living. See, the Breakfast Club and the Steve Harvey Morning Show, they can both be playing on the station at 7 o'clock in the morning at the exact same time. But if you're tuned into the Steve Harvey Morning Show, you don't know what's happening on the Breakfast Club. But if you change the frequency, if you change the station, if you tune into the Breakfast Club, you can no longer hear what's going on the Steve Harvey Show. And that's the way life is. The two lives that you're living are happening at the same time, simultaneously. It's about the one that you give the attention to. It's about the one that you have the frequency tuned on to. And if a disrupted life, unresponsible life, undisciplined life, a life with no boundaries in it, if that's the frequency you're tuned into, that's the frequency you're going to get. That's what you're going to attract to yourself. But when you begin to change the frequency and tune into a different channel, things begin to happen. The same way as you changing the station on your radio. You hear the as you're going through the station, because that's a disruption in the frequency. That's what happens when you change your life. That's what happens when you begin to tune into a different frequency. And when that happens, things begin to change. What we don't recognize is that we all heard the saying that God closes doors that no man can open, and he opened doors that no man can close. But what they didn't tell us is that when those doors close, sometimes the people that we love, sometimes the people that we're close to are going to be trapped behind those doors. And we can't open those doors and free them. Because when you start to put boundaries in your life, when you begin to get order into your life, when you begin to get more responsible with your life, when you begin to get disciplined with your life, people are going to fall off. You won't have to cut them off. They're going to fall off on their own. And when that happens, that creates a disturbance within ourselves. You hear the because we're not comfortable with losing people. We're not comfortable with knowing the fact that I love this person and this person is beginning to treat me different because of the way that I'm acting now. They take that acting a certain type of way, acting in those positive forms, as being thinking that you more than them, thinking that you too much, thinking that you forgot where you come from, thinking you forgot the family, thinking you think you bigger than the family, thinking you think you bigger than the program. And that's not always the case, but that's going to have us feeling uncomfortable. But we have to get comfortable with feeling uncomfortable in order to progress the way we need to progress. But it gets disruptive. We changing the frequency. And once you change the frequency, you begin to attract different things in your life. You begin to attract different people in your life. You begin to network with people that's taking you to the next level, because the levels are always changing. The goalpost is always moving. Learning is a lifetime experience. You keep doing this here. Whenever you get to be the smartest person in the room, it's time to change, time to get out that room and go to another room. And that's just the way it is. Everybody won't understand it. Everybody won't feel enthused about your change. Everybody won't pat you on the back. Everybody can't take that ride with you, because sometimes the creator taking you to a place where everybody can't go. It just was the fact that the people that you were associated with, consolidated yourself with during a certain period of your life, was for your development. You had to go through that experience with those people. You had to be a part of that circle. You had to go to those places and do those things in order for you to gain the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of those times, to take that into consideration and to use that inside your development. But once you've developed, once you've outgrown those things, like the scripture said, when I was a child, I thought and acted as a child. But when I became a man, I put childish things away. That's a true scripture. That's a true saying, because that's how life really is. We have to understand that a learning experience was a learning experience. And sometimes family can, just because y'all have the same mama and daddy, don't all the time make y'all family. It makes y'all kin, but you begin to understand that the people that pour into me to help my development, those are the people that are my family. We read in the scripture that they told Jesus, your mama and brother are looking for you. He said, Who is my mom and my brother? Those that do the work of my Father. And I'm not trying to be a religious person here, but we can take those quotes, we can take those scriptures and really understand them and break them down and apply them to our everyday life. This is what we see. We be able to get a guidance to show us the levels of things that we have to go through in order to get to the person that we are supposed to be, in order to get to the person that we see in our mind. Because if you have a clear vision of the life that you want to live, sometimes it comes with different stages in order to get to that person. See, we can pray for patience. Doesn't mean that the Creator is going to give us patience. A light doesn't shine out the sky and all of a sudden you have patience. No, you have to get in situations to where you have to exercise patience in order to develop patience. See, we ask for a life, but not understanding what comes along with that life. What comes along with gaining discipline. What comes this, all of this stuff that we need to become the person that we need to become, the characteristics of that person that we need to develop in order for that person to survive. It's going to cause us to be uncomfortable in the present tense because we don't understand what we're going through. We think that, oh, I want $1 million. I want to be wealthy. I want to be rich. And boom, you wealthy, you rich. No, it doesn't work that way, because that person that's wealthy and rich has to have a certain level of responsibility. So you have to be able to deal with the things that's going to come with being that person. And that's the man that has to develop. That's the woman that has to develop. So being uncomfortable in situations is a learning lesson. It's something that we have to become used to. And being cut off from the people that we love or the people that we considered close to us, sometimes losing those people is part of the development. And we have to not let that shake us up. Just another thought of the power of positive thinking.